Tons of talking, top rope walking, ultimate exit, serious flexing, never be vague with your boy Craig, and opinion mixing from Pete to Nixon. Keep doing things in an impactful way. Bloody nonsense, as the Brits say. Talking bloody nonsense.
Yes, it's me. It's the MIC Craig, aka Mr. Impact. Back once again with the one and only Peter Nixon. This is Talking Bloody Nonsense right here on the TNA IW channel. It's a new week. It's a new Impact. But first things first. Nixon, how's it going?
Yeah, all good here, thank you. Full disclosure, this is the second attempt at recording this. I don't know what happened. Skype just totally shut down on me just now. So let's go through the banter once again. I barely recognised you, Craig.
I know. It's gone. I can no longer do my Anvil impression.
Yeah. We need to get Harry's and Manscaped as sponsors for our show.
Yes. Give us your money.
That was a free plug there.
Yeah.
Manscaped.
Yeah. Hashtag not an ad.
Yeah. Tweet me.
Yeah. Give us your money. Now that's obviously Impact against Dollars last week. But before we get into everything we've got to talk about, quick little plug. TBN Chats with Mark Adams is now available to watch right here on YouTube, as well as the latest TBN vlog. We're at my travels to Kamikaze Pro for their 9th anniversary. You can see people with likes of Chantal Jordan, TK Cooper, Simon Hill, Charles Crowley twerking like on Big Guns Joe. So go check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Always a fun time, Kamikaze. So you can go watch that. But before we do get into everything about Impact, as mentioned last week, if you weren't around, there's no more re-preview. Since we felt like since everyone comes either before Impact, so you've already seen last week's, or they either come after they've watched Impact the following week, the week we air. So no re-preview, but we will give you a little quick rundown of what's to come tonight as you watch, or if you've already watched. On BTI, Alicia Edwards takes on Giselle Shaw with the Influence in her corner. PCO takes on Black Taurus. The Radio Kid takes on Trey Miguel. Donna Peraza takes on Mia Yim. And for the X Division Championships, B1 Mike Bailey defends against Alan Angels in what may not be a surprise to many people if you saw these spoilers on Twitter. It wasn't to me, so I think Impact were clever in announcing this one. But it's not a preview of it, so there you have it. That's just my little thing. That's how I think it went. So that's Impact this week. Alan Angels expected, but I'm looking forward to it. Not familiar with him, but I'm looking forward to see what he can do. So that's Impact.
Let me tell you about Alan Angels. So he obviously a member of the Dark Order in AEW. Alan Angels, I think he debuted with AEW during the pandemic. You know, they did like 12 weeks of TV or something in the span of like 3 days, just at a closed set. And Alan Angels wrestled Kenny Omega, and it was a squash match. Alan was looked at as a jobber, but Alan kicked out of all of Kenny's big moves. It finally took the one-winged angel, Kenny's big move that no one kicks out of, to put Alan Angels away. And it caused a bit of controversy on Twitter, saying, "Oh, why is this jobber kicking out of the V trigger?" And Kenny was like, "Well, no. Even though it was a squash match, I still wanted to make him look good, because if I don't make him look good, I've just beaten a nobody."
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Yeah. Alan Angel's obviously impressed. It was a good match, and he started at the Nightmare Factory, and he's done really well for himself. He's a really good hand, and I think if Impact are going to be using him more often, he's a great addition to the roster.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do. So that's Impact coming up tonight, or whenever you've watched this. Maybe it was last week's Impact now, but who knows? But yeah, we have it. Before we get into Against All Odds, let's take it over to the power rankings. Agree, disagree, let us know. These power rankings are from Against All Odds and Impact of the week before. So who should be on there, who isn't on there? If you want to be part of power rankings committee, hit one of us up for the channel and we'll get you in the group. What we've got to do is pop in after you watch Impact, give your top 10 wrestlers featured on Impact that week, and that's what we've got to do. Just bye. But let's take it over to the power rankings. Agree, disagree, let us know.
Number 10, DMC Brian Myers. Number 9, Venom Trey Miguel. Number 8, Motor City Machine Guns. Number 7, America's Most Wanted. Number 6, Tag Team Champions Team Ragnikov. Number 5, Moose. Number 4 is Bullet Club. Number 3, World Champion Jordan Grace. Number 2, X Division Champion Mike Bailey. Number 1, World Champion Josh Alexander.
And we are back. Now we'll get to Against All Odds. It seems to be a very, very stacked show. Again, not a surprise considering its impacts. Specials are usually very, very good. But as we always do, let's take the countdown to Against All Odds, and we'll put it into one nice little compact gift for you all. We have Black Taurus defeating Laredo Kid. Then we had Brian Myers defeating Rich Swann to become the new digital media world champion in a dot combat match. Short matches, as usually on the pre-show, but still another solid pre-show. What was your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, we sound like a broken record. Every time we do one of these reviews, we very rarely have negative things to say, and it's because the shows are so good. And the pre-shows, like we've been saying for months, they are the perfect advert to buy the pay-per-view or to sign up to Impact Plus or jump on YouTube and become an Ultimate Insider. Because the matches are so good. Because if the matches are this good on the pre-show, how good is the pay-per-view going to be? So yeah, perfect pre-show matches. I thought Taurus and Laredo, we knew they'd have a really good match. They didn't disappoint. And then massive surprise that Brian Myers beating Rich Swann for the DMC. Did not expect that. And I know Myers is he's technically a free agent now. He's no longer under contract, but it's cool that as a free agent, he's going to be sticking around doing paper appearance or whatever. And maybe he'll take the belt, around the loop and do some stuff that way. And then, you never know, you might drop the title to someone at a random show, like a non-Impact show. And we get Impact Wrestling get the footage for the YouTube.
Yeah, could do. I mean, be interesting to see if he does hold on to it long enough for Matt Cardona to come back around for his rematch. But I'm all for it. The major players have been a nice addition to Impact. See Cardona's unfortunate injury, but keep Myers on there, keep Chelsea Green on there. You can still do some stuff with major players as what they are for now. But I'm cool with it. It's disappointing to see Rich Swann lose so quickly. But if it plays into storyline, they have. I hope it's some sort of storyline, because if so, I don't know why he lost. But yeah, I'm all for it. Black Taurus, the Laredo Kid, banger, as we knew it would be. And yeah, I said it those times, but Rich Swann is a good hand to have on a pre-show, countdown, kickoff show, whatever you want to call it, because he always delivers in great matches.
Also, he's a recognizable wrestler. People know Rich Swann from his run with WWE. He was the cruiserweight champion. He lost the title on the Royal Rumble to Pac, or Neville, as it was known then. So yeah, I think it's good to have of course, Brian Myers recognizable as well. Kurt Hawkins from WWE. So yeah, good to have some recognizable names on the pre-show leading into the pay-per-view.
Yes, pre-shows, kickoff, countdowns, whatever you call them, they're always good for Impact. They always do what they're supposed to do, get people hyped for the show. So overall, pre-show as a whole, out of 10, what would you give it?
Oh, 9, easy.
Yeah, I'd go. Yeah, I can't disagree with a 9 there. Not quite 10 worthy, but still a very solid kickoff. Then we head straight into the main show. We had the Motor City Machine Guns defeating the Bullet Club with Ace Austin and Chris Bay, with Chris Bay eating the pinfall once again. My instant reaction to this, even though in my predictions I said the Machine Guns would win, as soon as I saw Chris Bay going down, I went, "Oh, piss off!" Why? It's really peed me off more than I was expecting it to. It doesn't need. Why did the Machine Guns need to win that one? Why did Bay need to eat the frigging pin? I don't get it. I understand Ace Austin just coming off losing the Extreme Championship, so he can't really lose much. But he did beat Alex Zane on Impact. Why has it got to be Chris Bay? Why the Machine Guns need to win that? I just don't understand it. What was your feeling like? Because it just really annoyed me.
Great match. We knew it would be. Really
match.
Yeah, really good action. But you're right. I mean, I predicted Ace and Bay to win. So at this point, I was 0 for 3 in my predictions. I did not have a good night against all odds with the predictions.
Nice.
There was one match that I predicted that no one else did. We'll get to that. But
yes.
Yeah. The Motor City Machine Guns, they've been on a great run. They did not need to win that match. It would have done so much more for Ace and Bay, the new Bullet Club members, to get a win over. It wouldn't have hurt Sabin, one of Impact's top guys. Wouldn't have hurt him whatsoever to go down for Bullet Club.
No, it really wouldn't.
It was mind-boggling to me, honestly.
Yeah, I just didn't understand the logic behind it. For crying out loud, the Machine Guns were just named most impactful tag team in 20-year history of Impact Wrestling by the fans. A loss isn't going to hurt them, but now these are really starting to chip away at Chris Bay. These losses unnecessarily. They don't need to keep that. It's too consistent that he's getting pinned. Yeah, he's opening up against all odds. That's great, but he doesn't need to keep getting pinned, especially now as in Bullet Club. I can't remember last time Bullet Club won a match in Impact. It's been a while, surely. I can't remember. I mean, the Good Brothers obviously that won their match, but that's not Bullet Club.
Yeah, ever since Jay White finished up for the time being and won the IWGP World Title, Bullet Club they haven't seemed like an afterthought, but yeah, just they're losing momentum. And the only way I can see any positive coming out of Chris Bay losing all the time is if they're trying to build a sympathetic babyface. Have him get kicked out of Bullet Club, and people just get behind him.
But honestly, Bullet Club's the best thing that's happened to Chris Bay, in my opinion. It's made him. People really start to pay more attention to Chris Bay since he joined Bullet Club. There's
Yes.
always that. It always had those eyes on him. But Bullet Club Rob has helped Impact and has helped Chris Bay to have him to, as you think or have feelings on him getting kicked out. Why? You don't need to do that. I've always said Impact have the benefit of the doubt with the booking, but I'm really struggling to see any reason why Bay needs to eat so many pins. I'm really struggling to see it now. So if anyone knows anything, please let me know, because this is confusing the hell out of me. But yeah,
Tweet me.
a great. Yeah, come on, Scott. Come on, Scott. Yeah, but like I said, but the match was incredible, as we knew it would be. Out of 10, what would you give it?
Give it another 9. It's a night of 9s.
I'm going 8 purely because of the Chris Bay. It didn't make any sense to me. It would have been a straight 9, but Bay didn't need to eat that one. Machine Guns could have took the loss, so I just couldn't give it as much as I wanted to. Then we moved on to another tag team match. We had Chelsea Green and Deanna Purrazzo, VXT as I know now that they're called, defeat Mia Yim and Mickey James, the HBI Country. And before the HBIC Hardcore Country remix, that needs to stay. Because I thought at first it was Impact fucking up, thinking they accidentally played Mickey James theme over Mia Yim's, but until I realized it was a remix, and I loved it.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on the match?
What does VXT stand for? I understand Virtuosa.
I think it's one of the time at NXT. I think.
Ah, okay. Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I thought the match was good. I thought it was a little bit short, and yeah, only a tiny bit abrupt. But I love the fact that there was 2 women's tag team matches on the show. Very refreshing. You usually get 3 or 4 women's matches on a big show for Impact, but maybe only 1 tag team match. To have 2 tag team matches was really cool. And the Booker man, Alec Burnett, I had a quick chat with him about the show, and he said, and I agree, that the match that wasn't for the titles was better than the match for the titles. So I think that's a good sign for the division.
I'll go with that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, great tag team match. Charles and Deanna. You know what? I'm here for it, because it's a legit tag team entering this division, which has been crying out for since the Inspiration left.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm for it. Let's see what they can do. Miriam and Mickey James worked really well together. Their entrance was great. I just can't put other entrance enough, because it was phenomenal. Now, if they're going to make Charles and Indiana a real team, obviously they've got the theme. Now sort the Tron out and you're gold.
Yeah,
got it all there. You've got the gear down. You've got the music down. Sort out the Tron. You got a legit tag team. And I'm all for it.
Definitely. I didn't expect Mia and Mickey to work as well as a team as they did. It's an unusual combination, but yeah, I was for it.
Yeah, great. It's just great in general. That's 4 great singles competitors teaming up and having a great tag team match. That doesn't happen a lot, but that was great. I'm all for it. So again, we'll go out of 10. What you giving this one?
I'm gonna give it an 8. Just a little bit short for me.
Yeah, I think I'm going 7 on this one. It was good. I really enjoyed it, but I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. I just think a 7, and I was thinking about it. I think 7 is about right for what this match was. It was only 9 minutes 5 seconds long, so it was quite short compared to the rest. But no, it was really good. But I think I have to go with 7 on it.
That's fair.
Then we came to the X Division Championship. Mike Bailey versus Trey Miguel. Mike Bailey defeating Trey Miguel to retain the X Division Championship. And holy shit balls! I'll let you have out on this one, because what a match!
What is there to say? If you're watching this and you haven't watched Against All Odds, you are missing out on the best X Division match in a long time. Probably the best since Josh and TJP, the 60-minute match.
Oh yeah, yes.
The stuff they did in this match was outstanding, and it was from the bell. There was no wasting time with trading holds, wrist locks, things like that. It was straight in with hot action, and it was fantastic. I'm sure people will disagree with me and say, "Oh, it was too spotty." That's what the X Division is about. It's it's a combination of wrestling and the X Games. It's meant to be high-flying, fast-paced action in your face, so you can't keep up with it, and you're relying on replays to see all these crazy spots. Yeah, I thought it was a throwback to the old school X Division, 2002, like Amazing Red era. I thought the match was absolutely tremendous, and yeah, they should be proud of themselves, Mike Bailey and Trey Miguel, for putting on such a fantastic match.
Couldn't agree more. There were a few spots in there, but that's what you can expect from the X Division. But they also told a story, but the spots were part of the story, because they both hurt their knees and they're pulling off these incredible looking spots, and it's hurting them more to do it. They wanted to win the X Division Championship, and they were hurting themselves. Like, they'll break their legs to do it if they had to.
Exactly. The fact that they both had injured legs, storyline wise, it helped the match in that Trey Miguel, because he had an injured leg, he wouldn't automatically go for the Meteora, for example, but he knew he needed to bust out those big moves, like the Meteora, which he used to put away Steve Macklin at the start of the year.
Yeah.
He needed to bust that out in order to defeat Mike Bailey. Even with an injured leg, he had to do it. He had to go for it. I thought, like you said, they told an excellent story. I was invested from start to finish. It was tremendous.
Yeah, and sticking with the story thing, Bailey realized that he couldn't hit the ultimate weapon, so he had to pull out a move that we haven't seen him use in years. I forget the name, but it's to pull out. It was basically a one-armed one-winged angel, but I can't remember what he called it, which I should have gone back and watched it. But
I can picture it. And you tuck like that. It's got a name in Japan, but I can't think what it is.
But still, a banging match, and like we knew, like we said about the Fatal 4 that was coming up on Impact the week before it. We said take anyone from that match, put them in that title match, and they'll have a killer match, and exactly what happened. Trey Miguel, I'll hold my hands up and say I was completely wrong about Trey Miguel in the beginning. I think he'd be the one who'd win the X Division Championship. I don't think if you're going for Rascal, that's not the one you pick. But wrong. I couldn't be. I'm glad I'm wrong because that dude is incredible. And Speedball, people are finally starting to realize how good he is that haven't seen him in the States as much. So we're excited to see what happens next with Bailey. Obviously, he's gone on a open challenge thing now. Excited to see what he does with that. Obviously, we know the first challenger, but it's going to be good.
Mhm.
So, out of 10, what are you giving that one?
10.
10. Has to. Killed it. So then we went to another title match. This time for the Knockouts World Tag Team titles. Rosemary and Ty Valkyrie defeat the Influence, I guess they are now, Giselle Shaw and Tenille Dashwood. Madison Rayne on the outside looking dashing.
Yeah, like Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, but I did enjoy this match. It was Giselle was never really gonna get booed when she came out. After the week she had, she's never gonna get a negative reaction, and she's owning it. She knows who she is. She's owning it, and you gotta respect that. And there's no way she was getting booed. And the match showed it. Giselle. I thought this was one of Giselle's better matches she's had since ever in Impact.
I thought she was the star of the match.
Yeah, she worked really well and fits in great with the Influence. And I like they had to, at the Ragnarok, had to roll up to Neil to get the pin because of distraction. Because Giselle and Tenille wanted to hit the collab, but Giselle wasn't ready for it. She didn't know it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's again another great story being told there. Only lasted 9 minutes, but I feel like it didn't feel like it was that short, not in a bad way.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought it was good. I thought Giselle almost carried it. Like her offense, that twist and splash from the top where she was off target a little bit, landed right on Rosemary's knees. Yeah, it was obviously a little bit messed up, but I don't think it mattered because Rosemary sold it so well that it didn't really matter. There's always going to be times when you're off target with big moves like that, so I don't think it hurt the match. I think Giselle has been so good since coming to Impact. That match she had with Lady Frost on I think it was the Sacrifice pre-show.
Might have been, yeah.
Really, really impressive. And she's just been on a roll ever since. So I'm looking forward to more great things from her. Convincing win for Ragnarok, gives them another big win. And I know we're going to get to this in the final 10, but I suspect you're looking at a feud between Ragnarok and VXT going forward.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. But as a whole for this tag title match, I really did enjoy it. And obviously at the end we had Marsha Slamovich handing I don't know what it is in the envelope. I don't know what she calls it. Handing Tenille's bloody picture to Tenille. So setting the sights on Tenille next. And Madison and Giselle wanted nothing to do with it in any shape or form. Which, understandable, because that's like Marsha's going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm all for that. It was great tag team match as a whole. Giselle agrees. She was the star of this match, and I think going forward, the Influence as a 3 is I'm for it.
Oh yeah,
I've never been completely sold on the Influence, but as a 3 with Giselle involved, I think keep it because it works. It works really well.
Yeah, it's a throwback to the beautiful people, Angelina Love, Velvet Sky, and Madison Rayne.
exactly, and it's just a great tag team match for Knockouts tag team titles, which for a while were just almost just there. Now they start to be featured more prominently and having feuds built around them instead of just putting two teams together and having them fight over the titles. It's been featured more prominently, so more for it. So out of 10, what are you giving that one?
I'm gonna go with the 7 for this one.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I think
Probably,
they struggled. Sorry to interrupt you, Craig.
no, sorry.
They struggled going on after Trey Miguel and Mike Bailey.
Yeah. So I'll be slightly more generous because it was a tag team title match and go 7.5.
Yeah, that's fair. I can't argue with that.
No, it's a title match. It's got to be slightly elevated, but it made it work, and I'm all for it. Then, however, we went on to 10-man tag team action, and full disclosure, if I'd have known who the partners were going to be, even though I did say it, but I never thought it would happen, I would have gone with the Good Brothers team with Heath and America's Most Wanted of Chris Harris and James Storm. I would have chosen them over Honor No More had I known that it was going to be Chris Harris.
Mm-hmm.
But they did defeat Honor No More of Eddie Edwards, Kenny King, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and a late addition in PCO. I mean, clearly there's ascension, and PCO is going to be out of Honor No More within the next week or two. Clearly. But as a whole, we got the death sentence, which I never thought we'd see again. And that's the AMW were featured on the Power Rankings, which is something I never thought would happen when the Power Rankings were started. Never thought I'd see that.
Yeah. AMW made the Power Rankings in 2022.
It's. I'm glad I got to see it. But what was your take on the match? I thought it was arcing phenomenal, and Chris Harris obviously couldn't work to his previous standard, but still delivered what everyone expected from AMW, which the only thing they wanted to see was a death sentence, and we got it. But what was your take on the match as a whole? Because again, another piece of great storytelling.
Definitely, this match had lots of great stories sort of intertwining in one match. The whole, because it was meant to be Vincent in the match, wasn't it? And then they changed it to PCO last minute, causing dissension there. PCO, later on in the match was meant to go for the PCO salt, but he changed direction and jumped out onto the crowd, slipping and landing on the apron, which rough landing. But that then led up to the finish of AMW hitting the death sentence. Chris Harris looked phenomenal, considering he, I don't know how long it's been since he wrestled. Maybe, I think they said 7 years. Maybe not that long. I don't know. 7 years since he wrestled in Impact last. But they haven't been a team in like 17 years.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not that long. 15 years. They haven't been a team in 15 years.
Yeah.
I thought the match was really fun. I don't know if it was as good as the Slammiversary 10-man tag, but because of the stories going on in the match, it was very fun to get invested in the match and the outcome. I if it was anyone other than Chris Harris, and you weren't sort of popping for his resurgence, then I don't think the match would have been as good.
No.
But as it goes, I thought this match was really fun and sets up more stuff down the line.
Yes. And as far as the Slammiversary match goes, I think for me, this one was better because, as I said in the Slammiversary review, that the Slammiversary 10 tag went a bit too quick for my liking. I couldn't quite keep up with everything. This I could easily, and I enjoyed it. And we got to see Chris Harris in 2022. Like, no one thought he'd recover from the. We see him in the ring again. Although and the last thing we would see of him would be Braden Walker.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, that would have been a travesty.
That could have been the last thing we ever saw of Chris Harris, but thankfully it's not, and we got to see him have a banging match back in 2022 as part of America's Most Wanted, teaming with the Good Brothers and Heath, which I saw a lot of people weren't overly thrilled with Heath, but he's, especially now what he's going to be doing, going after Honor No More one by one. I think it could be really good for him. Momentum got stalled massively. Unfortunate. It was a hernia, I believe. So I see that unfortunately stalled him. But he's back, and he's a great match against Moose a few months ago. So I'm all for Heath. I can't wait to see what he does next. MW killed it. Even Honor No More. I so focused on the Chris Harris side of stuff. Forgot how good Honor No More were in this match. They played a blinder, and OGK give OGK tag straps. Give them to him, because what are you waiting for?
Been saying it for months. Put the tag titles on OGK.
Yeah, what are you waiting for? I mean, but yeah, good storytelling. Obviously, it looks like the Honor No More is slowly coming to an end. But overall, for this match, a banging match. Out of 10, what are you giving it?
I'm going to go 8.5 for this one.
Okay. I'm going 9, because for me it was that little bit better than the Slammiversary match.
Yeah, that's fair. I have another point to make. Oh no, I'll talk about that later on.
Okay. Now we come up to the Clockwork Orange House of Fun match. Moose defeats Sami Callihan with the help of Steve Macklin, with Raven on commentary, who didn't give a single fuck. Raven gave 0 fucks, and I was all for it. Like, for me, this match, I like Sami Callihan when the crowd started to start that GCW chant.
Yeah,
I like it. That was fucking stupid. It's not GCW, it's Impact Wrestling. They've been doing this way longer than GCW have.
Well, I get it, because GCW did start the door phenomenon.
Yes.
The door fad. Yeah.
Yes. Nah. They're on TV for a start. They don't start that shite. But that's my semi rant over anyway. Moose, Sami Callihan. Even though I thought Moose would win this, it still surprised me how he won it with Steve Macklin popping up. But I'm intrigued to see what they do with it. Where they go with Steve Macklin now. Does this lead to a tag team feud where Sami needs a tag team partner? Does it lead to Sami versus Macklin? Because it can't just leave Moose and Sami there. Now they're tied 1-1. There kind of has to be a rubber match. But now there's the addition of Macklin. So, what's your take on it? Because I'm intrigued to see what they take. I'm really intrigued to see where they take this next.
Oh, I mean, the match was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It's my style of I know, not Peter Nixon's style of wrestling, but it's what I like to watch. Not all the time, but yeah. One of these matches, I'd be happy if they did a Clockwork Orange House of Fun match, a few times a year. I think it's been long overdue for a comeback. And really cool to see Raven. Love Raven. it's so funny on commentary, and it's not that he, maybe didn't give a shit is the wrong wording, because he obviously, was making an effort, but
yeah,
it was fun, the fact that he didn't care what he said.
exactly.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. He was great on commentary. Yeah,
very uncensored.
Yes, exactly. That was cool. Match was really good. Was surprised to see Macklin. I think I even shouted at the TV, because I had no idea who it was that attacked Sammy, and then the unmasked. I shouted, "It's Macklin!"
Yeah,
It was like the higher power. It's me, Austin.
I was more like, who the fuck is that? I was watching, who the hell is that? Who's coming in now? Like, who is it? Who is it? Like, seeing Macklin was cool, but when you see someone like masked, your brain goes anywhere. It could be anyone. It could be anyone coming in. I was Macklin. Okay, cool. This is interesting.
Yeah. So I'm guessing we'll get an explanation tonight on Impact of why Macklin attacks Sammy. But I don't agree with you in that they can't just leave Moose and Sammy there. I think they've done one and one. I don't think they need to have a rubber match now that Sammy can move on. I mean, because what would you do for the rubber match? I mean, we suggested barbed wire massacre, or would you just do a cage match? I don't think you need to take it anywhere else. I think Moose can do whatever, because he's Moose. He could challenge for the world title again. Sammy and Macklin will be a fun feud. I think that will probably lead up to Bound for Glory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very happy with this match. I think this show was so good because it had something for everyone, and that's what Impact does well.
Exactly. I'm a huge fan of hardcore wrestling. I think, like everything in wrestling, it has its place, and it's like you said, it's all about variety, and Impact a very, very good variety show. So I'm all for it. The the power driver on the glass, and what was it? It was a sort of toilet seat for sale signs or whatever else. I think there's a chain on the chain, which is just
Lego.
Staple gun. Staple gun. It's one that I can't watch, even though there's a good chance there's none in there. But I've obviously we'll see matches where there have been some in there, and it's just not a nice feeling imagining what's going on.
Do you know
with that staple gun?
Do you know the British deathmatch wrestler Drew Parker?
Yes.
Drew Parker. I don't know if he does it on every show, but if you go to see him at the merch table during the interval or whatever, he's got a staple gun with him, and you can staple like £10 notes to him.
Oh,
he's making a killing. If he has 10 people come up to the interval and staple a tenner to him, that's £100 he's made.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can
make your money,
that horrible pain and just take the staples out, as the second half of the show commences, then I mean, fair play to him.
Yeah, make your money, go for it. if you can deal with that, go for it. No, I back to the House of Fun match. Enjoyed it. Raven was great, as we knew he would be. Sammy, Moose, two of the best competitors in Impact, no matter what style match you put them in. And Steve Macklin now added to it. This could be the feud that sends Macklin into that world title picture, and I'm all for it. Let's I keep tweeting it every time he has a match, but I go, let's have it, Macklin.
Yeah.
Let's have it. So that was that. We go to a very different change of pace now with Jordan Grace defeating Tasha Steelz to retain the Impact Knockouts World Championship. Looked like Tasha may have picked up an injury on this one. Don't know if it was legit. I saw the referee throw out the X after the match.
All
Don't know
right.
if that was legit, but and that's it. They tried to rush Jordan out of the ring so they could get medical staff to come out to. I see the whole title presentation hand raise thing,
Mm.
and then medical staff came out. So I don't know if that was legit, but
I wonder because
the landing seemed,
Jordan had
the landing seemed awkward.
the Grace
Yeah.
drop. So maybe there was an awkward landing there. I hope Natasha's all right.
Yeah, maybe.
If she was hurt, I think we'd know about it.
Yeah, I think by now it would have been made public knowledge.
Mm.
But who knows? We'll see on Impact at some point over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, maybe they were just
See
taking a
that.
precaution because it did look,
Yeah,
awkward.
yeah. I mean, when a referee throws out the X, it's never usually a good sign. Unfortunately, I saw it happen at Kamikaze. Charlie Sterling picked up an injury against Chuck Mambo, and thankfully he's okay. He's no surgery. It's just a lot of rehabbing, a lot of rest.
What
I
happened?
believe it's a knee injury. Went for a body drop, a scoop slam, and I think he just landed awkward. His leg landed awkwardly. I think it's a freak accident. I don't think anything could have been done differently. I don't know, but it didn't. When it happened, it didn't seem like anything bad had happened. The referee threw the X up, and medical staff came out, and his match was just over. So it seems to be okay though. Apparently he's going to be back in the next couple of months. So all good. But as far as this Knockouts World Title match goes, I know the crowd didn't seem that much into it, but when you go from two people trying to kill each other with glass to just a straight up match for a title, this is going to be a bit of a drop. But for the last two matches, there was quite a bit of a drop. But what was your take on the Knockouts World Title match? Because Jordan Grace is still one of the very best.
I thought the match was fine. I thought the skill level between Jordan and Tasha was very noticeable. I don't think Jordan was able to pull Tasha up to her level. So I mean, I was always taught in wrestling school, if you're better than your opponent, go down to their level. But yes, still there was a bit of a gap, a noticeable gap. The match was fine, but I don't think it was outstanding. I thought the outcome was fairly obvious, considering Jordan just won the belt in Queen of the Mountain. I couldn't see them putting the belt straight back on Tasha. So yeah, I thought it was fine. It did its job, but I certainly won't be rewatching it anytime soon.
That's fair. The match had to happen because Tasha was owed her rematch contractually or whatever. But I'm interested to see where Jordan goes now more than anything. There seems to be a fair few people going for worthy of getting an opportunity. Just mere Yam. Obviously, we will get into that in more than Final 10. But yeah. All in all, great match. Out of 10, what are you giving it?
I'm going to go 5.
That's fair. Again, because it was a title match, I'll go 6 because the title was on the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing to write home about. Did what it's supposed to do, keep Jordan the title and send Tasha off to whatever she's doing next.
Yeah.
So then we had the world title match. Josh Alexander defeats Joe Doring. Again, not the best match on the card. but they did a good job in hyping Joe Doring up and making people realize why he's in this match. So that full credit to Impact for that. But was never gonna go any other way than Josh Alexander retaining. But what was your feelings on the match?
Yeah, totally agree. It's just a very obvious finish. I mean, it does a good job for Josh, like building him up. He's just, defeated the undefeated Joe Doring, in an absolute hoss fight. But the match is very slow, very plodding, and I don't think it worked to Josh's strengths. And Joe, he's had better matches than that in Japan. And I think I was expecting a bit more. The match was fine. I mean, just like Tasha and Jordan, it wasn't outstanding and doesn't hold any rewatch value for me. Like I said, it does wonders for Josh in building him up.
Solid. So out of 10, what are you going to give this one?
I'll go 6 for this one.
Yeah, I'm with you on 6. I think it's a pity because Josh has had nothing but bangers from being tag team champion to X Division champion, now to world champion. But it was, I guess, another notch on his belt on his way to being what I still think is going to be the record-breaking world title run.
Okay,
so,
I'm for it.
I think this is where the record is broken. I think it's 265 days.
Bobby Roode?
Yes, still Bobby Roode with 265 days, I believe.
Okay.
So I think this is where it gets broken, and I'm all for it. So that was Against All Odds. As a whole, what are you giving it out of 10 as a whole?
I think because of the weaker finish to the show, I'll go with an 8. The undercard was just tremendous.
Yeah, I agree. I think 8.5 for me in this one. I think it was really, really good. Just the final 2 matches, we knew what was going to happen going into it, even though nothing was obviously no spoilers or anything. We didn't know if that was legit, the full way they were going to go with it, but it was never really going to go any other way.
Exactly.
And before we move on, what was your match of the night? For me, it was the X Division Championship. It crushed it.
Yeah. No, it didn't have any challenges really. It was outstanding.
Although, I think Laredo Kid and Black Taurus could have made a claim for it if they wanted to, because that match was still really, really good. So, So I think all in all, a really, really good show, like the Plus specials usually are.
Yeah.
But now we're going to head over into that final 10. And we're going to take a little look and give some very early predictions for Bound for Glory. Now, no one knows where it's been taking place yet, but we're going to give our predictions on what we think may be happening in terms of title feuds. Obviously, personal feuds, there are some we can lean to, but I think title feuds is where we have a better chance of predicting. And I really want to talk about the world title picture. Josh Alexander as world champion. He beat Moose, then Eric Young, now Joe Doring. Got through almost 3 minutes of round by design. What's next for Josh as world champion? Who is appearing to you as a challenger? Because full disclosure, I'm struggling to see someone who Impact are lining up next. I really can't get a clear picture of what's next for the world title. What do you think is happening? Who can you see potentially challenging for the title?
It's tough, isn't it? There's no one emerging from the pack apart from Steve Macklin. I think he's going to be wrapped up with Sammy Callahan.
Yeah.
You could say Moose, but they've done that. That's I feel like Josh has moved on from Moose. I know a lot of people were calling for Jay White to be the challenger at Slammiversary, so they could bring in an outsider like Jay White or someone else from New Japan. It'd be cool to see Josh has defeated Tomohiro Ishii in a match that I think is the best match of the year so far.
Nice.
So maybe someone like that, maybe Shingo Takagi from New Japan, or maybe someone from AAA. I don't know who their big heavyweights are now.
It's the mega champion is Vikingo.
Well, there you go. Josh versus Vikingo. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I guess they bring in an outsider. I can't see anyone else from the Impact roster being built up enough to challenge Josh, unless Matt Cardona is fit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's plenty of time to build someone, but it was with Eric Young. That was a challenge that people had a lot of issues with, and even though they had still had time to build them up, to a lot of people it wasn't built up enough. So, I think at Bound for Glory it will be an outsider challenge. But again, it's who, Jay White. He's obviously focused on staying in Japan and building the IWGP title, really becoming a notable champion, which he already is. But he obviously take it to another level. I had a thought of maybe Will Ospreay, but I don't see that happening. It'd be cool in a way.
I'd love
I'm not the biggest Ospreay fan,
fantastic.
I'm not the biggest Will Ospreay fan, but I appreciate how good he is.
Yeah,
I just don't see it.
I don't think. I just can't see it happening. I think Ospreay is such a huge. It would be such a huge get for Impact. I know he did a tweet out recently that people should be watching Impact. Their product is really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I would love.
You mentioned.
Go on, sorry.
So you mentioned that Ospreay is a big deal. And before, I don't know because I don't watch AEW, but when he appeared, was there? Apparently he didn't get a really big reaction. Like people didn't know who he was in the AEW.
No, he did get a big reaction. People were hyped to see him, but AEW used him in weird matches. And so his first match on AEW should have been a singles against a big name, but they put him in a 6-man tag. It didn't make any sense. And then I know a lot of people were annoyed that he went on with Orange Cassidy on the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, but the match was excellent and was probably the match of the night. I knew it would be good, but I didn't expect it to be that good. People do know who Ospreay is. But yeah, I don't think AEW used him to their full capability. Which, if he came over to Impact and wrestled Josh Alexander in the main event of the biggest pay-per-view for the world title, I think that would be more than suitable for young William.
Yeah. For the Billy Goat.
Yeah.
So back to the Josh and the Impact World title. Pick a name. Who can you see it being? If you had to pick a name, who right now would you pick?
If you put me on the spot, not my dog spot, not your liver spot, I will say. Oh, Ace Austin.
Okay. I'm thinking Bullet Club as well, but you've got me thinking Jay White, so I'm gonna say Jay White. Probably won't, but enough time might have passed by then for Jay White to come back around. So I'm gonna say Jay White.
I think if he is no longer the IWGP Heavyweight Champion by that point, then Jay would be a great shout.
Yeah. So obviously we're running quite short on time, but we can go like a little bit over. But I just want to knock out world title. Who is next in line for that? I know my pick straight away, and I really believe it's going to be Mia Yim. I think that's where they go next with it.
Yeah, I think that's a great prediction. I would say Masha Slamovich, but they're still building her up. I think she'll have a big match on Bound for Glory, but I don't think she'll be challenged for the title just yet. But she will next year, probably early next year as well. So I will say Deonna Purrazzo.
Okay. Yeah. The knockout division is so stacked; it could be any of them, and I'm for any of them.
Yeah.
But I just think I can see it being Mia Yim, especially if she's not sticking around as long as most of the knockouts will be. I think let her have a killer match Bound for Glory. If that's where she wants to wrap it up, cool. Go out in style against Jordan Grace. So the X Division Championship. What do you think is going to happen with that Bound for Glory?
Oh, bloody hell!
It is a difficult one, but I just hope they don't go for another Ultimate X. Leave that away now for a little bit. Put that, pile it up and stack it away for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think we need a multi-man match. I think we need and I don't even think we need a three-way. Just a singles match. Speedball defending against someone that has negative momentum at the moment, but there's time to build him back up. Chris Bay.
See, I don't think Chris Bay will be involved Bound for Glory, but I'll get to that next. My pick, I can honestly see it being Laredo Kid. I think there's enough time to build him properly, and it's going to be a killer match. I think Laredo Kid, Stephen McBailey for the X-Division title. If not, then I ain't got a clue where they're going to go with it. So I think it'd be Laredo Kid. Now for the tag team titles, for the men's tag team titles, part of me hopes they get them off the Good Brothers and put them onto OGK before Bound for Glory.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe at Emergence. I'd like to see it at Emergence. I'd be happy with that. Then the challengers for the OGK, I think, and I want it to be Ace and Bay. I think have them as good tag title run, and then then they can go on to, they can be in each other's corner for the X Division. They can, or the world title runs. It can. I think as a team, Jeff said it best on the mothership. The next AJ and Daniels, have them be tag team champions. I think they'd be. We saw how good they can be in their first matches as a team, and when enough build, like it'd be great tag team champions, and I'd want to see it. Where do you think it's going to go?
I think that'd be really cool, but I don't think they'll go with two heel teams for the tag titles at Bound for Glory.
Oh, I suppose it all depends on what happens with on and then more next, and then, or maybe if Ace and Bay are they're treated like faces. They got a face reaction like Singers did, so maybe that's how they go. I don't know, but I just think it'd be Ace and Bay versus the OGK for the tag team titles of Bound for Glory.
I think that would be great. I'd love to see that. I don't think the Good Brothers will lose the titles before Bound for Glory, though.
No.
Can I tell you the match I want to see at Emergence for the tag titles? Good Brothers versus America's Most Wanted. I don't know if Chris Harris, if that was a one and done for him against All
Right.
but if he's got one more left in him, give him another shot at the tag titles. Don't put them on America's Most Wanted, but give him a shot at the titles.
Yeah, I think that should be how they send them off. The AXL last match was great, but the America's Most Wanted weren't the face of that match. There was lots of different faces in that match. Yeah, I think give them their own spotlight for it, and if that's how they go out. What would go out with the Good Brothers turn? I think kind of has to be.
Yeah,
I think it's in the Good Brothers at this point because it doesn't feel right. The Good Brothers being all happy and like, even though they'll still get the face reaction when they come out to the Bullet Club music, but I think turn them on this one.
In terms of Bound for Glory, I have no idea who Good Brothers can defend against. I can't see it being Motor City Machine Guns. I can't see them defend, as I said earlier, two heel teams. I just can't see them doing it. So it won't be OGK. Who else is there? What other teams are there?
It could be infighting amongst the Bullet Club. It could be some infighting.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Ace and Bay versus Good Brothers.
Yeah, I think that makes an interesting match. But before we wrap up, Knockouts Tag Team titles. You mentioned it earlier. Is that who you're still going with?
Yeah, that's what I'll go with.
Deanna and Chelsea Green VXT.
Even though I've predicted Deanna against Jordan, I'll go with Deanna and Chelsea against Ragnarok, Taya Valkyrie, and Rosemary.
Deanna pulling double duty. It could happen. For tag titles, I'm with Jeff, and I think it will be Havoc and insert partner, probably Su Yung against Ragnarok. I think I'll be more interested in seeing that than whoever else. I think that if it's not for tag titles, I think that match will have happen either way.
Yeah, that's got to happen.
So I'm all for that. And finally, before we head off, DMC. One name, who have you got?
Heath.
I think Sammy make a good DMC.
Sammy Callahan.
Yeah, I think Sammy.
I think Sammy will be wrapped up with Macklin.
Yeah.
So
I think Sammy make a good DMC.
Okay.
If they want to make a title a serious title in Impact, I think give it to Sammy and he'll do a good job. He doesn't need a title, but he can only help that title. So I think that's where Impact goes on this one. But with that, I think we shall call it a podcast. This has been a podcast. This has been Talking Bloody Nonsense. I've been MIC, but of course, before we head off, you can go check out everything we've got on the channel. Some more stuff, some fresh stuff coming. If you want to be part of the channel, again, hit one of us up, and we're looking for people who want to be involved in creative people, want to create content and be involved in the creative process of what we do here. We're also looking for new people. If you want to join, hit us up, and we'll get you on board. But of course, go check us here, there, and everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, wherever else you podcast. Until next time, I've been the MIC. It's been Nixon, and will continue to be Nixon. Until next time, goodbye, my friends.